All right, all right. Welcome to the Strong Side Podcast. My name's Mitchell Black, and I'm your host. And today we have an amazing guest. I am so excited for episode 19 of the Strong Side Podcast. Today we're going to sit down with Strong Side athlete and very long time member, Miss Becky Brown. Today we're going to talk about Becky's blunt truths. A lot of people walk in the gym and they go, dude, how does she do it? How in the world does she make that happen? Well, Becky has learned a lot throughout her life of what it takes to be motivated, what it takes to be dedicated, and what it takes to just pursue through life and have the hard, blunt conversations with yourself to be your best self. So before I get talking with Becky, remember, if you guys like this podcast, this is everywhere that you can get a podcast. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. This is live streamed on our Facebook and YouTube. You could comment right now and we'll see the questions and we'll discuss them. We'll answer them right away. But look, if you like this and you want us to do more of them, or if you just want to give great feedback, we would strongly appreciate a 5-star and just give us some love. So without further ado, what's going on, Miss Becky Brown?
Yeah, hey there, Mitchell. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Good. I'm doing great. You asked me to do this, and I'm like, there are so many people in the box that are young and hip and cool and all that kind of stuff. But let's just, for a moment, suggest that I'm 60 years old. In my 60 years, I might have learned a few things more than a 25-year-old, or something like that. I've been married 34 years. My husband's Ron Brown.
We're getting the whole just monologue right now. Here we go.
You know what? You want to ask me a question? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I love it. All right, you've been married 34 years.
Been married 34 years, have 4 kids. I have 3 grandbabies that I adore with my whole entire heart. My husband has been on the region for the, like CrossFit Open, that kind of thing. He's a great athlete, but we didn't start out that way. I mean, we started out just like, and I will take over dialogues if you might have to stop me. Okay. But we didn't start out that way. We started out just like everybody else does, fell in love, got married, and down the road we started having babies, had 4, 4 gets to be a lot, that kind of thing. And what most people, and I'm sure a lot of the people listening to this that have kids and stuff have found this going on in their lives where they, their life gets involved and wrapped up in their children.
So talk about that for a second. So you're Becky Brown. You sound like a Southern belle for sure.
Yes.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have a brother and a sister.
Okay. And then was your life super fast and crazy and growing up or no?
No, not like this. I mean, first of all, we didn't have the money. I mean, to be honest, I took my kids whenever to Marietta. I went to Osborne High School right here in Marietta. Took them over there and said, that's the house I grew up in. And they were like, no, you didn't. I was like, oh, yes, I did. And about a week later, one of the kids goes, you remember that house you showed us that tried to tell us you grew up in? I'm like, I grew up in that house. I grew up there. Now, I married a boy from New York City. And that was
that's Ronald. Yeah.
That was for my family. My uncle, I'll never forget, he said, honey, come over here just a sec. He got me by the hand and pulled me down his lap. He said, are you sure you want to marry this Yankee boy?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So Ron got cut a lot of slack. Everything he did was odd. I thought it was because he was a Yankee. I mean, to be honest, I'd never been above the Mason-Dixon line. I didn't know what went on up there. They were dear. They were here.
So you lived in the South like your whole life.
Yep.
You meet this dude from up north.
Yep.
And so you guys get married. So you go from like this, all right, let's just say normal, slow country life, whatever. I was the same way. And then, so you had 4 kids and you're like, all right, what is that? Like I have 0 children. So what's that like when you're talking about life getting crazy and.
Oh, wow. Things change. I mean, Ron started making money, and then you start going, okay, I want my kids to get ahead. I want, them to have everything that, I didn't have. And you sign them up for all this stuff. I mean, they're in gymnastics and they're in swimming and they're in dancing and they're in ballet and tap and jazz and they're in karate and guitar lessons and piano lessons and all. I had a board in my house. I mean, it was huge. It was like 4 or 5 feet wide. Like this tall.
Literally this strong side board right here.
It was bigger, actually. It was bigger, but it was a month. It was about 6 weeks. And I would take their calendars because, we didn't have smartphones. All our phones were like dumb. They went up to the wall. And we didn't have, and I would put everything in there that they had to do that month. And so I would not, drop the ball on everything. And when you do that, you don't have a lot of time to take care of yourself, to come to the gym, to, all this kind of stuff. And matter of fact, as a mom, when you take time out for yourself, a lot of times you feel really guilty about that.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
I mean, a lot, you get so accustomed to meeting everybody else's need that if you don't stop and realize that you cannot go warp speed unless you take care of your own needs some, and you just become mom and wife and daughter, and you kind of lose who you are or what your interests are. So, that's kind of where we, ended up. Ron had always been an avid sports player, and, when you're coaching the baseball team, it's great. Your kids love it, but you're not playing.
Yeah.
So you end up, maybe sometimes wishing you had the time to do the things, but also realizing that you birthed 4 children, and that if you're not the adult in the household, there ain't going to be one, so you have to take care of them. So.
And Ron traveled a lot, right? Like when they were growing up?
Oh gosh. He traveled all the time. We left Georgia, went to Canada, lived there for 2.5 freezing cold years.
I didn't know you lived there
Yeah.
for 2.5 years. Oh, okay. I thought you went there a lot.
No, we lived there. He traveled, he had the whole country, and then he had the UK. And one entire summer he was gone to England. And I was there. I only had 2 kids pregnant with a third. At that time we hadn't had Chelsea yet. No, skip that. I had 3 kids pregnant with the 4th.
You got so many. I don't even know.
I don't even know their names anymore. But anyway, you just did the best you could. You went to bed at night, you were tired. So anyway, we were moving to the UK, and went over there a couple of times to visit, find a house, find schools. And we got home. His company called us up and said, "Hey, changed your mind. Why don't you come to California?" I literally turned my suitcase over, dumped it out in the floor, picked clothes for California, got back on a plane, and went and found a house.
That's wild. And then you guys did live in California.
We did go to California.
Yeah.
We lived there for 4.5 years. Across the country from all of our family. So you learn a lot of valuable lessons. You learn what you're made out of. You learn what your marriage is made out of. You learn how to juggle things. Christmas, Thanksgiving is with your neighbors that their family lives across the country too. You know? So we did things like that. Had family. Our family was our neighbors. So, and then he got the opportunity to move back here, and we took it, and continued on with life. Got the big board, got all the kids signed up and everything, and there we go. Yeah.
So it sounds like you spent a lot of time, as you alluded to, like moms and stuff like that, just putting everybody else first.
Yes.
It's like your sports, your commitment, your whatever, just everybody else is first. I'm second.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody else was first. You're second. And it's not really different for dads. I mean, even though Ron was gone and traveling all the time, and he'd call me and he'd go, "Hey baby, what we just had dinner?" He said, "Yeah, I did too. I was in New Brunswick, and there's a glut of lobsters, and I just had all you can eat lobsters for $5."
You're like, we had lean cuisines.
No, we had macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. I mean, I was just like, yeah, I feel bad for you.
What was? I'm just gonna say Chelsea Raines because I know her so well. What was her favorite dinner growing up? Because I could see it being macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
Yeah, she loved macaroni. Chelsea was a climber. And she was an amazing climber, actually. And if I left the room, I mean, she would climb. She could pry the freezer open, and she would climb the shelves and get the ice cream out.
That's crazy. So I bring up Chelsea because for those of you listening that don't know, Ron, Becky, their daughter Chelsea, and their son-in-law Matt all work out here, and then Chad, one of their sons, works out here. He met his now wife here, Marissa, and they all work out here. And then all of our other kids are active at other gyms in their area. And it's crazy.
Yeah, we have a pretty competitive family.
So when was the shift of, I'm not going to say shift of like you stop putting other people first. I'm saying like if the entire thing of what we're going to talk about is you just being like, look, I know that everybody else is important, but everybody else is so important that if I'm not okay, I can't take care of all these other people that are okay.
Sure.
So where was that like, all right.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it didn't really occur till we got that empty nest syndrome thing going on, which I have to be honest, I don't understand that. I like empty nest. I like, yes, I love you, go home. I mean, I love my babies. Don't get me wrong. But when they leave, you do have this all of a sudden glut of time that you didn't have before. I was talking to a gal just last week here, and I said, how's it going? She said, man, she said, my baby, which is not a baby. It's her oldest. I mean, it's her youngest old child.
Yeah.
He's having a sports banquet tonight, the last one. And she says, I'm not sure how I feel about that because my activities has been his activities. You know, my life has been his life. My friends came from the baseball team, the moms, you know. And she said, now I have this emptiness there, and I got to figure out what to do with it. And that's kind of where we were. We were at the point where Chelsea had moved off to school all the way over there at KSU. And we were like, you know, I'd cook for 6. I didn't want to cook anymore. That's where we're going to dinner tonight. Well, let's go to Outback. Well, let's go here. And we hit a point where one night I said, where are we going to dinner? And Ron said, well, how about here? And I said, no, we just went there. How about here? No, we just went there. Well, no, we just. And I was like, there's something wrong with this picture. You know, we're going out. We're coming home. We're turning on the TV. We're watching TV. I mean, we used to call them couch potatoes. We don't do that anymore. I love the way this generation just changes up names. I mean, if you don't like what it's called, you don't like the way it sounds, just change the name. Don't call yourself couch potato anymore. Say, I'm binge watching Netflix for the whole weekend.
Ooh, I never thought about that before.
It's true. I mean, you know, if I said to you, man, I am sitting on the sofa eating crap for my 3-day weekend, you would look at me like you've lost your mind. I'm a couch potato. But if I said, oh no, this weekend I'm going to do DoorDash and I'm going to watch every episode of Cheers from start to finish, all 7,492, binge watch it 3 days, you'd be, wow.
You like gamify it.
Yeah.
It's like a task, so you feel accomplished at the end of it.
You feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah.
You didn't accomplish anything. You ate crap and you sat on the sofa being a couch potato. But anyway, so, you know, we kind of started to put on some weight. Didn't feel good. You know, I mean, was not energetic, was not, you know, active, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And then what really happened was when you stop taking care of your kids, a lot of times you start taking care of parents. And I was at that point with my mom and dad. And you go from child to caregiver. And I'm at their house, and me and my sister were working together, and we're doing their pill trays. And it was just, I mean, it was a task to get their pill trays finished. And I looked in that pill tray, and I went, is this my future? Is this what I got to look forward to? I said, no. Heck to the no. I am not doing this. And, you know, Ron and I talked about it. We had this we had deliberately had a conversation. And we said, where do we want to go from here? What if we would do with the next half of our life? You know, and after looking at that pill tray, I knew that wasn't it. And the things that we wanted to do, we needed health and fitness to do. So that had to be a part of our goals in life. You know, it had to be something that we focused on so we could go do the other stuff that we really wanted to do. There's I brought it just in case you want to hear it.
I have a list.
I have a list. But I do. I love it. It's from Alice in Wonderland. Okay. So there we go. But Alice comes up and she's lost in Wonderland. And she says, would you tell me please which way I ought to go from here? And the cat, you know, Cheshire Cat's there. And he said, well, that depends a good deal on where you want to get to. And she said, I don't care much where. And the cat says, then it doesn't matter which way you go. And I mean, that's true in life. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know goals to get to, if you have something to work to, then it really doesn't matter what you do to get there. Because you don't know. You don't know. You're just wandering around aimlessly. So we made a list of things that were important to us. We wanted to travel. We wanted to be able to play with our grandkids when we had them. You know, that was important to me. My daddy always took the boys water skiing and stuff. I wanted to be able to, I wanted to water ski with them. You know, I wanted to be able to do that stuff. And, you know, what another business, what are we going to do, you know, for business? What are we going to, you know, and so that's kind of where we went. And then we, you know, it takes self-discipline to get there. Discipline is not really a bad word. You know, we look at it in our culture like discipline. Are you what? let's not even talk about that. But Cameron, one of my sons, was an excellent swimmer. Went on to a big school.
LSU, right?
Actually, he taught to LSU. He ended up in Kentucky.
Okay.
And he had one of the Olympic psychologists talk to him at Pat's pool because Pat saw the potential in this one group of kids he had. And the psychologist said, discipline is easy. He said, it's easy. It's defined like this. He said, you set your goal. These are the things I want to accomplish. And then everything that comes up to your path, every choice you have to make, you look at your goal, you look at the choice. And if it doesn't line up, you discard it. If it lines up, you go for it. So you have a goal there and you're seeing what fits to get there. So I was like, okay, well, what are we going to do then? How are we going to get fit to do all this stuff? What are we going to do?
So would you go to Google and type in best gym in the world and StrongSide popped up or what?
No, I wish that would happen. No, we tried some other gyms around. Ron hated it. I was bored to death. The one gym that we settled on, the thing I liked the most about it was its snack bar. They had some awesome smoothies. I mean, it was great. And it wasn't working.
You settled on a gym because of the snack bar.
It was delicious.
Okay.
It had a good pool. Okay. Had a great pool. And, but no, one of the people, Sue, that
Eagle off.
Yes.
Yeah. Sue's still a member.
Yes.
Hey!
Well, okay. She goes here and I was friends with her and I ran into her and she said, what's been going on? I said, and I kind of explained the rundown to her. I said, this is, so I'm trying to find a place to get fit. And she said, let me tell you where I go. And she told me about StrongSide. And my first thought was, I can't do that.
Mm.
I mean, when you are met with a challenge, that is a change in your life. Most of the time we run through this list of, I can't do that, I can't do that. This is the reason, this is the reason, this is the reason. And I said to myself, I can't do that. There's a couple here in the box and they're the sweetest people. I just love them. And in the gym. And I was talking to her the other day and I said, can I share your story? And she asked, so I have permission to talk about this. And I'm talking about Roy and Andy.
Okay, yeah.
Carrie, okay, Coach Carrie is coach here. I've learned amazing things from her. Just love her. She can be pretty tough, but she can be. She's scary, but she's wonderful. And they went a couple years ago with their daughter, who's a coach, and husband and family down to Disney. And she said, what I realized.
And just pausing that for a second. So Roy and Andy, for those who don't know, they're in our Legends program, which is 55 and older. Roy's had 2 knee replacements. So it's not like she's just talking about like random people. Yeah. Like they're just, they're older people, but whatever.
But yeah, so they go to Disney and she said, what I realized was we were having serious trouble, keeping up. I mean, they were slowing down and letting us rest kind of thing. She said, I actually looked at my grandson and I said, if grandma comes next year, I might have to go with driving carts. And Carrie was watching the whole thing. When she got back, she said, let me train you. And they began doing the stuff they needed to do because one of their goals in life was to participate with her grandchildren. And participate with the grandkids, sit on your butt. Doesn't fit. You got to discard that. You got to get the discipline. You got to throw it out. So they came here. Now she says, I carry my own laundry up down the steps. I do all this. And I'm like, you go, girl. I mean, you go. Besides the fact that you have the scariest coach daughter in the world, but anyway, she's wonderful. But anyway, so she did that. We found here, and I started first, and there was a gamut of things, of challenges that just came up in my brain that I had to get over. The first one was just flat out fear.
What was it like? I don't remember the process because it was like, I don't know, 6 years ago or something like that. But what did you call me or like, what was your first appointment? I remember you started on a Groupon. Like what went through your head before you came in?
I did call you. And I said, hey, I want to come, You said, sure, come on. And it was like, oh, shoot, there's this.
It's that easy. Oh, no.
It's that easy. Oh, no. Yeah, really. It's that easy. And so I said, well, I'll be there, this time, whatever. I came with Sue because I didn't want to come by myself. I came in and, intimidation kind of just the fear of what's going to happen, it kind of sets in. And, you set me up doing wall balls. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what a wall ball is, it's just this set of misery that you have a ball. And it's not a lightweight ball, it's a heavier ball. And you squat all the way down, throw it up on the wall, catch it, squat. Throw it. I mean, it's back and forth. And I sucked at it. I mean, I was hitting myself in the face. The ball was going places. I was thinking, he thinks I have a mental issue, actually. You know, I was that bad, you know. And you think everybody's looking at you, but everybody's not looking at you. Let me help you out. Well, all those people in the world that's going, I wonder what they're thinking about me. They are not thinking about you.
They're worried about how their pants fit.
That's exactly what they're worried about them. They're thinking, what is she thinking about me? She is not. Stop it. Anyway, and what I realized, and I heard this from somebody said this, I didn't make it up myself. I wish I had. It sounds so good. But what I realized in this is you cannot fear the change that you're bringing to your life more than you fear the regret from not changing. If I didn't start this now, what was my regret going to be? When I couldn't play with my grandkids, when I couldn't travel, I want to go to the Great Wall of China. That's one of my deals. When I can't run down that wall, what would my regret be? Which fear is bigger? Walking into a gym where nobody knows my name anyway and working out, or regretting not doing it and I can't work out? I mean, you know, people are like, you know, I'm going to be, you know, in 2 years, I'm going to be 60. 2 years, I'm going to be 50. 2 years, I'm going to be... So what? In 2 years, you're still going to be those things. You just are deciding right now how you're going to get there. Or you can get there healthy. This is what you fear. You need to fear the regret. You need to fear heart disease. You need to fear obesity, high blood pressure. All those things that you're going to gain if you don't take control of your diet and exercise. That's what you need to fear. Don't fear starting here. We're a friendly bunch. I mean, we really are. We're helping.
I think we're super cool.
I think we are. Anyway, fear those things. Fear the regret. You need to fear that. I think the other thing, I was just scared. I was just going to embarrass myself. I mean, and listen, my wall balls were pretty embarrassing. But Angie, look, I was talking about before I talked to her. She said, I came in here, and she's on a private lesson with her daughter, right? And she said she sat me down on a box and told me to throw the wall ball. She said, I threw the wall ball up and it came down and hit me in the face, right smack in the... She said, I cried. And it's embarrassing, you know, I'm dropping the ball all over the place. You know, I don't know how to do stuff. You don't know, you know, other people know what they're doing. It's embarrassing. Nobody wants to be embarrassed, but that's not really embarrassing. What's embarrassing? I don't want to be gross. Remember, this is bitter facts. Okay. What's embarrassing is not being able to take care of your own self on the toilet. That's embarrassing. When your kids are bathing you, that's embarrassing. When you are tripping and falling stomach because you can't walk, that's embarrassing. Those things are embarrassing. Pick your embarrassments. Pick your fears. Pick those things. I mean, Andy could have walked out of here and said, forget it, I'm not doing this. I could have walked out and said, forget it, I'm not doing it. Later, I mean, like you kept up with the freaking wall balls. And later on, somebody came up to me to stand to do I said, honey, I'm not very good at this, and I might like hit you. I mean, that's a little bit embarrassing, but it's not as embarrassing as needing help getting up off the toilet. None of that is. You're picking your embarrassment. You're picking your fears.
Like you said, I totally agree with that. Like you're picking your hard. Everything's going to be hard. It's just, what do you want? If your biggest concern is that, it doesn't mean that we should belittle it, but like everybody is going to have anxiety about where their feet go on the rower. Are they doing things right? And more than likely that anxiety is going into other parts of your life, and that's okay. And that's why we work so much on that. Like right now, while we're having this podcast, we have 2 of our newest employees going on training on how to tour people when they come in for their first day so they don't feel anxiety. It's not like you want to like discredit that and be like, oh, well, they just got something wrong with them. I'm just saying, like, it's like, I'm agreeing with you. It's all going to happen to us.
Yes.
But you're in an extremely supportive environment where we all want you to get better. And we all get a little anxiety too. You know what? So we just started a corporate partnership with a location, and we go in and we do training at that facility and stuff like that. And I'm doing all the training right now because I've never done this before. I want to like live in the environment. And I was getting anxiety before the first workout because I realized that in 7 years, I haven't been outside of my own home. Like, this is my house doing training, and I went somewhere else to people I don't know. And I was like, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you just, like, I'm like, oh, I got to do it.
Yeah. We get comfortable in our zone, even if it's unhealthy. If it's an unhealthy environment, we're comfortable in that. That's why it's so hard for people to make changes. They have to want it bad enough. They have to get miserable where they are bad enough to get out of their comfort zone into something else.
So if somebody's hearing this and they're like, dude, heck yeah. Like, I'm fired up. Like, what advice would you give them? Like, what's the next step? Okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to make a list of like goal and not goal or what?
Well, I mean, honestly, you have to know where you want to go. You can't just say, need to make some changes. You have to know what the changes are. You have to know where you need to take a really, really hard look at yourself and say, this is what I need to change. I mean, call Mitchell. Call Mitchell. That's what you. I mean, no, I'm only. Listen, I tried other gyms before I got here. You didn't care that I was hitting myself in the face with the wall ball. I'm sure you thought I was crazy. No, but I mean, you stuck with me and encouraged me, and the people in the gym with me stuck with me and encouraged me. And listen. Sue had said to me, the one that told me about the gym, she said, I was amazed that she said this, but she said, I'm always the last person to finish each workout. She said, until a new person comes, and then they'll be the last person for a while, and then they outdo me, and I'm still the last person. And I was like, but Sue, I'd be the last person. Nobody wants to be the last person, right? She said, are you giving your best? I said, well, of course, if I come, I'm going to give my best. She said, I'm going to be giving my best, and the other guy's going to be giving his best. There's nothing else you can ask for. It's not like your best and then add some. Your best is your best.
100%.
I mean, so if I'm doing my best and you're doing your best and I'm running and you're walking, we're still on the same level. We're doing our best. And our best gets better as we work at it. You know, I see people my age, you know what? It kills me. It honestly, it wears me out. I mean, they're like, you know, sit down. Get it. Age is not for the young at heart, or, whatever, faint at heart. And I'm like,
whatever.
Yeah. Getting old is not for the faint of heart. I'm like, and I'll ask them, I'll say, well, hey, I know a gym that can fix that. And they'll be like, oh, well, and I talk to them about it. And the next thing they ask kind of kills me. And it's a valid question. They say, how much does it cost? And, I'm like, I don't know for sure. You call Mitchell, come in for the free week, or whatever. And let me tell you something. We're going to all spend our money. We're just deciding where we're going to put it. Those pill trays that my mama and daddy, I looked in when I was dishing all of those pill trays. My mama's pill tray, before she died, was about $350 a week.
A week? I thought you were going to say a month.
No, wait a minute. Yes, it was a month.
Well, still more than our membership.
$350 a month. Her assisted living that she lived in was $4,200 a month. My daddy's was $900 a month for his pills. And the nursing home that he had to be moved to because he was totally unable to do anything for himself was $8,000 a month. Do the math. I did the math. Let me read it here. I
do know that $4,200 a month is $1 million mortgage.
Yeah. Okay. So monthly, it was over $13,000 a month. Now this is the bitter truth. Don't think bad of me because I've talked to other people and they have to do it too. I had to have, as a caregiver, you leave the mom and daddy thing behind, even though you realize you're taking care of your mom and daddy. And I had to be their nurse, their advocate, their doctor, their caregiver, their, help you get in bed at night. And I had to be their accountant. And when you're paying over $13,000 a month, you have to take a serious look. Me and my sister sat down and we took a look and said, how long do you think they'll live?
Oh, that is
because
real.
It's real. It's real. It's bitter and it's hard and it's ugly, but it's true. Will they outlive the funds to take care of them?
And it's not like we're under some delusion that if you work out, that's never going to happen. But the goal is to prolong it for a longer period of time than not.
Yeah.
So that was good what you said. Define where you want to go. You got to define where you want to go and then set yourself up and say, okay, if this doesn't align with where I want to go, then it's got to go.
Then it's got to go.
Essentially. So we got a couple of minutes left, but what's like a little bit of your story of, I know you said you had some things you wanted to share with like things that you've done along the way to get to, because you're a pretty committed person. I'm not saying that you overcommit and that but I'm saying that if you tell me that you're going to do something, I'm like, it's going to happen, whether that's a commitment to me or the workout or just your life. Like next year, I want to go to the moon. Oh, it's probably going to happen. I mean, just that committed.
I guess I don't want to regret anything. I don't want to regret the parts of my life that I didn't get to. I mean, I go do. I mean, I've been in Africa, stuck in the bush, out in the dark. I thought I was pretty brave until the bushes started rattling. I thought, God, I'm going to be eaten.
That's it.
I'm done. That's it. I hope they like muscle because I don't got a lot of fat. No, but I don't want to get to the end of my life and regret what I didn't do. I don't want to question, did I keep my word? I think that's huge. Did I keep my word to people? I mean, it's important to me. I would rather die living than live trying not to die.
You really just sound like, it sounds like you're just saying that fitness is a byproduct of all your other commitments and decisions. Like you're really just saying that I'm working out to support my life.
Yes.
And my life is the most important thing. And I'm not willing to accept excuses for why I can't live the way that I want to live.
Right. I mean, money, your fitness, your education levels, things like that are things that support where you want to go. They support what you want to do in life. I mean, you choose what you want to do and then choose how you're going to do it. And fitness, I mean, I love coming here. I love clanging and banging. I love when we get the weights out. The other day when we did Cali Bear was just clean and jerks. I loved it. That's my jam. That's my favorite kind of workout. But I also know that in the middle, I have to run too. I have to do the running. I have to keep my heart up. I have to, do that kind of thing. I have to do all those things. And we were in Thailand. And we were down in this little place called Krabi. You can only get in there by boats. It's one of those, like you see the movies where the porters are in the boat with you and you jump out into the surf and they haul your suitcases over your head. Yeah. Okay. We're in that kind of thing. And we're getting in a boat to go out on a sailboat. And you can't sail the boat in because there's no harbor. And the guy, the boats are pretty tall. And I'm in the front. I'm the very first person to get on the boat. I'm not missing this. And the captain of the boat goes, and I'm sure he sees I'm older than all the 25-year-olds that were coming on the boat. He says, well, hang on a minute, ma'am, and I'll get some of the crew to get on the front of the boat where it's lower. I said, okay. And I just jumped up on the boat. I mean, I literally jumped. And he said, oh, maybe I won't. But fitness, all those things that you choose lead you to your goals. Enables you to do them. And this fitness, this box right here is enabling me to be the best grandmother I can be. It's enabling me to be the best wife I can be. It's enabling me to be the best me I can be. There's still things I want to do in life. Things like I travel. I mean, I got on a plane, went to Africa by myself, worked in an orphanage. I mean, I loved it. But you need to pick your fears. You need to pick your embarrassments. You need to pick them so that you don't regret the life that you didn't live. That's
real. Like it doesn't get any realer than that. I mean, there's a really good Chinese proverb that says, if I don't mess it up, it says that people spend their health trying to acquire wealth only to spend their wealth trying to save their health.
Yeah.
And that's when we say like, you know, it's super cliche, but people will be like, what are you training for? I'm like, we're training for life. Like that's why we're so focused on the member cycle. Our members here are here for 3, 4, 5 years. And it's like, cause there's no end game. Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that, like, that's it. Like it's the prevention of, maybe it's as serious as the nursing home, or just the word can't.
Yeah.
How, dude, the gallon of milk weighs 10 pounds, whether you are in shape or not.
That's right.
And if you come in here in a 10-pound slam ball and you do 3 of them and you're,
Yeah.
it's not the slam ball. That's the milk. That's the groceries. That's the stairs. That's the thinking that your exercise is parking at the other end of the parking lot so you can walk in. All those are very limiting factors. And I love what you're saying, because then the exercise is just a tool. It's not the exercise. It's that you can go enjoy everything else. You start feeling more and more limited. You're just using exercise as a tool to feel better and get where you want to go.
Yes, absolutely. You know, quick story. I was walking down the mall with a friend. Now they're like 60 pounds overweight. And I really, you know, I don't know what 60 pounds overweight feels like. You know, that's not to say I don't need to take off some pounds, but I just don't know what. And we entire length of the mall, entire length of the mall, and I get this, oh crap, from them. And I'm thinking, you know, fight or flight jumps up there. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to fix it. What is it? What's the problem? And they look at me and they go, because we've been walking, they go, my shoe's untied.
Oh.
What?
Like that's like a big deal, like a big decision.
I was like, what? Yeah. And they said, my shoe's untied. I was like, well, we can stop here and you can tie that. I mean, I truly did not know. I did not understand. And then I saw the gyrations. They went through to tie their shoe. And it was like leaning on the wall and hunkered. There was no bending down to get your shoe. And then they slung their foot up in the air enough till they caught their blue jeans and pulled it. And I thought, I know a place that can fix this. You know, I know. And stop making the excuses and stop saying, yeah, I can run a mile. You know, okay. No, you can't. Stop lying to yourself. If you can't tie your shoe, you can't run a mile.
It's called science.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not making this up. This is not a, you know, fake news. This is real. And so go do something about it. So you can tie your grandbaby's shoes. So you can go hike the Great Wall of China. I mean, we're not, I'm not fooling anybody. None of us are going to have a life. We're just trying to figure out how we're going to get there. Am I going to get there healthy? You know, I don't think I'm living forever, but this is your life.
Yeah.
This is not a dress rehearsal for your life. This is it. You don't have to live like you did yesterday. You can make changes. You can make decisions to go forward. And that's why I'm here.
That's unreal, dude. That was awesome. Thank you for coming today. That was, that was just straight storytelling of awesomeness. And if you're not fired up, like your fired up button's broken. If you're not fired up after hearing that was unreal. And when you start your motivational speaking business, you just let me know and I will be the first person to buy a ticket. All right. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys got fired up. I hope you guys just understand that, look, fitness is a tool and it's a tool for everything else that you want to do. And I appreciate you coming on, Becky. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Thank you guys.
Have a great day.